Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now I'm going to give you the updates not only on the severe weather for today and tomorrow because it's starting to ramp up. I'm also going to have your temperature outlook, give you an update on that as well as a tropical update because we have a little something that's trying to do something at the end of this month. Now, if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I am all year long. Click that bell so you know when my videos do come out. I will make this video as short and quick as possible for today, and those that's been here before, you know about how that usually works out. So the timestamps are in the description to help save you time. Thank you all so much for your time today. Hope you have a very blessed Wednesday. Now, real quick to update you about your temperatures. Everybody that is in this red for the Northeast, you are under a heat advisory as well as the South. That means you're going to have a heat temperatures impossible index from 95 up to 100, 105 degrees for today. And you have it down here in the South as well. That's for chances for 105, 110 degree heat index. And over here in all this pink, including right here for the Southwest, this is under excessive heat warning. This is where you have a very good chance of getting anywhere from 110 to 115 degree heat index for today. And if you've been here before, you remember this pattern always shifted north, then it shifted east after that, and that's what I'm showing is about to happen. Just like I said in the last video, these temperatures are going to last all month long, and it's really going to be bad for the South Central. I know y'all need some rainfall, but I'm showing for the month, you're going to be below average. Now, next 6 to 10 days is your temperature probability outlook, above average in all this pink and red. And as you go for the next 8 to 14 days, it's going to stay in this pattern. A little bit easier in the South, so there's a little more towards your normal temperatures. Still going to be above average. Now, for the precipitation outlook for the next 6 to 10 days, you're going to be below average in this brown, including you down here for Texas, and above average for the monsoon season, as this carries also to the Northeast and Ohio Valley. As you go from 8 to 14 days, you'll see that does stay for the monsoon season as well as the Northeast, and the brown shifts to the Southeast because you get all these very hot temperatures shifting to the east. But for the month, you really can see that below average precipitation mostly in the South Central, and this is going to be like this for the rest of the month. All the hot temperatures in your area and below average precipitation while you have it climbing up the East Coast as you go towards the end of this month. Your monsoon season above average, and you're a little bit below average on the west as well. And I do have a better way for y'all to see y'all own personal temperatures, what it's going to be like. Your tornado threat has increased. That big tail that's coming off this storm is stretching all the way out in all this green section for today. I have cities for you. And as you go for tomorrow, it shifts up to the Northeast on this very high ridge with a big 2% as well. But what I'm seeing is that we get a little upper level low over here in the Southeast, pretty much over South Carolina, and there could be a little threat for tornadoes right here for tomorrow as well. Now you can see right here on high resolution rapid refresh, just the 48 hours. This is showing something a little different than the NAM. That's why I waited for the 12Z, the latest update on the high resolution rapid refresh, because it's not showing correct data with what National Weather Service has. It don't form until after it goes off of Michigan. Then it starts forming late for Ohio as it goes to the east, southeast. Then for tomorrow, these storms will go up to the northeast, put some tails of storms for y'all as well, tornado chances. But it also bursts up right here in the southeast. You get a little upper level low, and you get a little rotation in the atmosphere. And it could be a tornado threat right there for tomorrow as well. So that could ramp up. So I do have this link in the description for all of you. All you do is click on your area. It'll tell you exactly the information on what's expected as far as the temperatures and the heat index for today. And just for example, I click on Arkansas, and you can see that your heat indices are well into the 110 and 115 for today. So make sure you use those links, as well as you can see here, National Hurricane Center next 72 hours. This tropical wave is going to be following this monsoon trough staying to the south, but the one behind it is showing that it has the best potential to probably do something late, if anything. I will show you all the information. As this other tropical wave moving through the Caribbean, very unfavorable environment. The surface low is way down here by the Central American Gyre. And that next tropical wave is moving into the Eastern Pacific. I will touch more base on that later in the video. Remember, the links are in the description to help save you time. Let's go through the severe weather aspect first. And you can see as you get this big center going through the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes for today, it's going to stretch all the way out out with this low pressure, and it's going to bring a big band of storms. It's got high dew points, it's got high lift, and has a good chance for tornadoes as it goes up for tomorrow, goes up to the northeast. And as you can see, the low pressure system don't spin too far to the southeast, but there is an upper level low that is bringing some rotation in the atmosphere. And this will be leaving out for Thursday and Friday. Then for Saturday, that next system coming in, we're going on a high ridge, so we don't have much time to strengthen or do much of anything. It definitely is going to affect the Great Lakes. It's going to be going up to the upper Midwest, bringing a 1 day of severe weather for Saturday. And so far, I see this mainly as a possible wind threat, but mostly a big hail threat, large hail. So here we are now, a live look. Remember, all these links are in the description to help save you time. You have your system that's moving over the Great Lakes. You have Estelle moving out into the Pacific. You have these waves down here that's moving towards South America, still going to keep going into the Eastern Pacific. And we have this big plume of dust that's still getting in with this next tropical wave. And you can see in this shot that these waves are not that strong that's going to the west, but all this dry air that's going into the Caribbean, all this dust, is really stopping anything from forming, especially what's coming off the coast of Africa. This is our biggest wave yet. So as you see the update from National Weather Service, what your threat is for severe weather today, you will have thunderstorms in all of this green, but you do have a tornado threat, and it has grown all the way from Michigan, all the way to Kentucky, all the way from Indiana, all the way to western Pennsylvania. And you do have a wind threat as well. I do see some high winds in some of these cells, but it's not a big long-term wind threat from what I can see. And you have a smaller hail threat for today. But here's the main cities and states that are in threat for the tornado threat for today: Detroit, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio. But you can also see right here that it does reach way up into Flint, Michigan, and it comes way down here by northern Kentucky as well. A little bit southeast of Indianapolis, and a little bit west of Pittsburgh. So it is a big area for a tornado watch for today. And that's all because of this tail that's going to whip from this storm for today. And you can see with high resolution rapid refresh that it really don't match up a lot of it building at all. As soon as this day gets started, it is an afternoon event, but it shows everything forms a little bit later outside of this tornado threat, as well as further south as the day goes along. So it really don't match up too good with what National Weather Service is saying. And you can see with the NAM 3K that it shows a little more to what National Weather Service is saying, not only the bowing out and these storms, you can see the hail cores in these systems, so there is potential hail as well. But once you get 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it really starts bursting up with these nasty storms that comes down Indiana, Ohio, even stretches down to Kentucky all evening long. And some pretty nasty ones too. You even get a lot of bowing out in the winds that's coming with this. And this is going all the way until 9 o'clock tonight. And when you go for tomorrow, this cold front and this tail is going to continue to grow and whip in the southeast, as well as going to northeast when it goes up on this high ridge. But your tornado threat so far is only in the northeast. And I do believe you'll get a little 2% area over here in the southeast for tomorrow. But there is also a wind threat for tomorrow and a hail threat as well. Most of it is going towards the south. Now, so far for tomorrow, your tornado threat is only in the northeast. But I do believe it could be a little area that pops up for the southeast for tomorrow. So if it does, I will update my community page, let y'all know of the updates. But so far for tomorrow, for Thursday, is New York, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, Newark, New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, and Yonkers, New York. But you can also see it goes all the way down to northern New Jersey, a little bit of western Long Island, and it covers almost all of eastern New York and the New England states. And it really starts tomorrow afternoon. You have the same setup that Ohio Valley has for today. As the system goes up on that high ridge, it's going to leave these tails that's going to grow and burst and have a lot of severe weather all evening long, even chances for hail cores in them as it continues to go up on that high ridge. But as this system continues to move down later tonight into tomorrow, I do see an upper level low forming, and you can see it does bring some storms over to the southeast for tomorrow, mostly in the late PM hours for South Carolina and some of North Carolina. But I think there could be a spin up there from this upper level low, and you definitely got some hail cores coming around there as well. So I think it is going to affect y'all as well for tomorrow. I think there will be an outlook for that. Now for today, you can see as you get all these very hot temperatures, you get all these strong dew points. And you get this nasty pocket of very strong dew points in the 80s that moves across with this front that's coming with this system. It's pulling the cold air down from the west side. It's bringing all these warm temperatures up from the east side. And it's just revolving around as it goes out to northeast. But you see how strong these dew points are when you start getting your severe weather event. Very strong all the way into Indiana, southern Illinois, goes in Ohio, and it also carries into Kentucky as well as these storms burst up all afternoon long. Then for tomorrow, as it comes up, you can see all the strong dew points that's in the northeast as well. High 70s, and you got very high 70s over here in the southeast. So about the same time when the cold front goes to the south, the system whips up to the northeast. You start getting the storms in all them strong dew points as well as for the southeast. And I do show that the winds are on two different directions a little bit as well. So there is a chance for a spin up down here for tomorrow. So with all them strong dew points, all this very good unstable air, you can see how strong your CAPE is, your convective available potential energy. And this gives you all your lift. And look at all this lift that's in the region for today as this cold front comes down for these storms to be able to take and rotate and create tornadoes and strong thunderstorms and all kind of problems for today. Then you're going to get some strong downbursts. Now it does cool down your temperatures for a minute, but it does bring your thunderstorms with this. You have a lot of lift, and you can see all the downburst that is popping up on these storms, not just for the Ohio Valley, also for the southeast. And then for tomorrow, you will have a lot more lift in the southeast than you have in the northeast for these storms. So it's going up on that high ridge that is going to make these winds change direction with height. Give you a good chance for tornadoes in the northeast. But you have all this lift. You definitely got severe storms coming by tomorrow. And look at the downburst again as those storms brew up in the southeast. And you don't see it that much in the northeast. Most of this is going to be in the southeast for tomorrow. A lot of storms that's coming out of this. I think there will be an outlook for this. And this is why I waited for today. I wanted a 12Z update. And if you've never been here before, 12Z and 0Z is only two times that meteorologists around the world puts up these weather balloons and you get your best data. And when you look at your helicity values, which gives you your wind direction change with height, which is what a tornado is, a very strong storm, you can see it don't have much for Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. Nobody in Ohio Valley all the way until 3 a.m. for tomorrow. It shows some of it going to be in Canada, but it's not showing anything for here. It is picking up on the storms for tomorrow that's going in the southeast and the northeast. Possible long-lived cells, strong thunderstorms, especially for New England states, and you have some for South Carolina. But once again, you don't see nothing right here. And this is how it's been. The 9Z on the HRRR showed a couple chances for some storms to pop up. The 10Z showed it a little bit more. Everything's still showing in Canada. As you go to 11Z, maybe some more storms could pop up. And then when it came straight to the 12Z, they just disappeared and never came back. It's showing everything is going to be in Canada according to higher resolution rapid refresh. But when you look according to NAM 3K, you can see right around 3 p.m. you do get some storms in extreme northern Michigan. But this big band starts coming through Indiana, Ohio all afternoon long, goes down into Kentucky, and goes way south, even a little bit into Tennessee by the time you get into tomorrow morning. Then for tomorrow, the storms pop right back up, not only for the northeast that's coming into play with the tornado threat, but also for the southeast as these storms brew up for tomorrow. And the 12Z shows that it does stretch out continuously all down eastern Michigan all the way to 2 p.m. Starts going towards Ohio as you go into later in the evening, a big nasty band of storms that's popping off, as well as some for South Carolina. And as you keep going, you see it just stays the same way all through Kentucky, all down Ohio, all evening long till 11 o'clock. You still got storms coming down with some bowing in them. So there should be some winds with that as well. But when you look at the storms in Michigan over here going towards Ohio all the way to 2 and 3 p.m., you can see there's not a lot of shear on these cells. There's getting some shear in Canada, but not on the U.S. Ohio, getting some moderate shear there around 5 p.m. You got the precipitation further south, so that would be some winds. And as you keep on going, you can see it does get a little bit of the cell with some shear on it right around 6 p.m. for tonight. That's northern Ohio. And as you keep on going, it stretches out all the way till 10 p.m., all the way towards Kentucky. Then it starts getting a little bit different. Then your shear starts picking up on these cells, not for tornadoes, but for some wind damage. But it stays all night long for Kentucky, all the way to 11 p.m., and even gets stronger around midnight. Now, these are some nasty little cells coming through, but you can see the bowing out in it, so it's probably going to be some damaging winds. Now, let's talk about damaging winds, because NAM 3K isn't picking up a whole bunch on the winds, but by 4 p.m., you start getting some 40 miles per hour wind gusts. As you go further south, you start getting some that has a little 50 and might have some high 50s in some of these cells as it comes through southern Ohio, central and eastern Kentucky, as these cells come through all night long. So there is some possible damaging winds that's coming with this system for today. High resolution rapid refresh does confirm these cells towards Michigan, towards Canada, does have a lot of high winds, and it is showing the high winds on the ones in Kentucky. It's not showing really southern Ohio. It's showing it carries all the way in Kentucky before the winds start really getting strong, and it shows some for eastern Michigan, but mostly going into Canada. That's the difference between high resolution rapid refresh and NAM 3K. So it's a little sporadic on both weather models, but both are showing that there is some damaging winds behind these storms. Now, your tornado threat for today, as you look at your 10-meter winds, you can see you have some very strong winds coming from the south to the northeast, and you also have some winds coming from the west to the east with this system. But by the time you go all even along to 4 and 5 p.m., this is where it does a real convergence on the winds and the lower level winds up here aloft. So you have winds from the 10-meter level come from the south to the north. You can see that. And it's going all the way across Ohio. These winds are just being pulled up from the eastern side of this storm, pulling all this heat, pulling all these strong dew points as it's blowing this cold air on the western side, creating this cold front. But you can see how the winds are coming from the south to the north all the way to 4 o'clock, 5, 6, even 7 and 8 o'clock. You still got strong winds coming from the south to the north. You can see your winds on a lower level, your 850 millibars, a little bit higher up, that your winds are coming strong from the west to the east all evening long. So that gives you your wind direction change with height. While you have winds coming from the south to the north, you got winds up here aloft going from west to east, and that's giving it its rotation. So according to the NAM 3K, you are going to get a lot of storms from this all evening long. All these cells are popping up for Indiana, Ohio, as well as Kentucky, and some of it goes into Tennessee all night long. A big nasty patch of storms is going to be all evening long. Then for tomorrow, it's going to spark up in the northeast and also spark up for South Carolina and some of North Carolina for a lot of strong storms, even a chance for a couple of strong cells, especially for western Ohio as well. So there is a lot going on for these next 2 days. And this region right here is right where National Weather Service has their 2% outlook for tornadoes. And high resolution rapid refresh don't show all this, only the NAM. So as you go for tomorrow, you do have some winds coming from the southwest towards northeast, and the winds up here aloft is almost the same direction, so I don't give it a very good chance for a spin up. But as these storms start spinning up tomorrow afternoon, you see the winds coming from the south to the northeast. That's just a steady flow of the way the winds are going to be blowing for tomorrow. But you can see it, the winds a little bit higher up, that it goes from the west to the east. And that's the whole day. It's coming from west to east, while this is coming from southwest to northeast. So it's a little bit difference in the wind direction, not as strong as today. But I do think there is a chance for a spin up because you have all the dew points, you have the convection, and you have the wind direction change with height coming from west to east at 850 millibars, and it's going from the southwest to the northeast at the lower level, at the ground level. And you can see here with the Euro, with your lightning strikes, that you're going to have lightning strikes all afternoon long. It's really going to get strong for northern Ohio, southeastern Michigan, and it does grow along the south. As this goes all evening long, you see there's no white in there, but there is chances for hail and all this density of lightning strikes as you go all the way till tomorrow morning. Then for tomorrow, it goes across Tennessee, and it sparks up again in the southeast and the northeast with your lightning strikes. So there will be a lot of storms. There's chances for hail. It's not as strong as the chance that I see for Saturday. And it is bringing anywhere from 1 inch to almost 2 inches right here for the higher elevations of North Carolina over here by Hendersonville, Asheville. You look like you got the best chance for the rainfall. You are higher elevations. But there is chances for 1 inch of rainfall coming to the southeast with this system. And you can see for Saturday, as that system squeezes on towards Wisconsin, because it's going on a higher ridge. Remember, the deep trough was only on this first system. Now, you do have a 15% chance for severe weather for Saturday. And so far, that includes Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Rochester, Minnesota. But you can also see on your lightning strikes with the Euro that by the time you get to Saturday afternoon, you get a lot of lightning strikes, and now you're actually seeing the white. This white would be indicative to very large hail as you go through Saturday evening into the overnight hours. A nasty little group of storms that's coming with chances for large hail on this one. But as you look at your heat indices, you really start to get a good grasp of how hot it's going to be. This is for today. And as we go into tomorrow, it's going to stick around. Everybody's still going to stay in these very hot temperatures. Then as you keep going, you can see as you go towards Friday that it really sparks up a lot of heat indices for the central U.S. And this carries into Saturday as well. Very strong temperatures, a lot of heat indices, and a lot of humidity in the air. So be aware these temperatures are still headed north, and they're still going to head to the east as we go later in the month. As we go towards Sunday, now you got heat indices in 105 to 108, and it's spreading across the southeast. As you go towards Tuesday, it's going to stay there. That's why you have less precipitation for the month in the southeast, because you have all these very hot temperatures coming, very strong heat indices, and it's going to keep you all over 100, feels like, temperature with these heat indices. Tuesday, Wednesday is going to grow even more. Just heat is not going away anytime soon. And in the Pacific, we still have a Estelle going out, still 60 miles per hour. It's calming down, it's going against cooler waters. It's not going to last much longer. Plus, we have disturbance 1 at 30% in the next 5 days. This is from the waves coming off the MDR, and that's where they're going to form up in the Eastern Pacific. Now, not only all this dust give y'all the update, because you can see how the wave is just covered in dust at the moment, and we have a bigger wave coming off later, and it's a little more northern. But we show that we might have something forming up. So a lot of the models are showing that this is going to be an East Pacific thing. Even National Hurricane Center and NOAA is showing that. But as this big plume of dust gets towards the end of the month, NASA satellite is showing that it don't have a lot of rotation in it as you go towards the 26th and the 28th. But it could push that precipitation into the Gulf of Mexico, and a surface low could form. But take this with a grain of salt, because not only do you see it not having any rotation in it, very weak if anything. Also, a little further down the line, as we all know, when something comes later in the weather model guidance, that's always going to push further and further to the west or to the east than what it's showing now. So I do believe all this will still get suppressed into the Pacific and is going to form there. Now you see with the GFS potential velocity anomaly that we do have some strong systems coming through, but you can see also around that time, late July, that something very weak could pass through. So that's not showing any strength. It's showing maybe around August 5th or 6th as our next potential strong storm. A little bit further to the west, this could be a Pacific storm. But you can also see with the Euro that it is showing it a little bit further east, right around August 5th, August 6th. So the time and date is about the same. The location is different. So this one could affect us according to the Euro. According to GFS, is further to the west, and it's going to go in the Pacific. At the same time, you can see we have all this sinking air still for the first half of August. And by the time we get to August 20th, right where I told you our biggest part of our season is, August 20th to October 20th, that it starts getting a lot of lift in our region. So I will keep you updated. Because our update with our chances for a tropical depression with the Euro does show these waves coming in strong. We see you start taking a little bit of a southward push as it comes through our Caribbean. It don't continue on that westward or even that northwestward push. It starts going a little further south. But when you look with the Euro, you can see as you go towards the end of the month, beginning of August, that we start getting some possibilities coming through our Caribbean, also off the MDR on these next waves that start coming through. And it could go either west, or it could go north-northwest, or it can go west-southwest. All locations are still open according to the SpaghettiOs of the Euro. So we'll keep you updated. It's still a little too far to be sure. The trend is so far not going to happen. And you can see in the global tropics what's expected, guys. From July 20th all the way to July 26th, all this brown is all above normal temperatures expected. And all of this yellow, we're talking the whole center of the U.S., below average rainfall expected for this region. And all this rainfall is coming south off of MDR, and a tropical cyclone formation is expected in the eastern Pacific. Then as you go from the 27th to August 2nd, you see also a development of a tropical cyclone, tropical depression or greater strength is expected to form, and this is also in the eastern Pacific. And this was just updated yesterday, guys. And you can also see from this shot, this was produced by a meteorologist from Klystron 9, shows a tropical intensity index. And you can see all this green and all this yellow that's in our Caribbean, in our Gulf of Mexico, is unfavorable and highly unfavorable environment conditions for anything to form. So if anything forms, it'll be a front-induced low once again in the northern Gulf. That's about it. Everything is going to the Pacific. And to see what's coming after this storm, to give you an update on the lift. And remember, the Euro gave you the best chances for a strong out-the-gate August. That it is showing that we are getting some lift sometime around late July in our Gulf of Mexico, while we have sinking air coming off the MDR. That's with our dust. And you see it grows all the way to the beginning of August, and it goes all the way to the MDR by the time to get to the beginning of August. But by the time you get towards August 18th, that it shows that we have sinking air in our Gulf of Mexico while we have the lift coming off the MDR. And that's right around where it shows all this lift is coming into play from the Euro, is late August, early September. But that's all in MDR, and we have sinking air in our Gulf of Mexico, and it's starting to stretch its way all the way to late August, all the way back into the MDR. So we do have a pocket where these storms are going to be coming through. I'm not showing a chance of formation for the U.S., and I'm showing after these storms pass through, most of these storms are going to be going through the eastern Pacific. But then we got lift on the MDR, and some storms are going to come off strong. But then we got sinking air in the Gulf of Mexico going towards the MDR as August comes along. That's going to kill the chances for these storms to strengthen. And that is the updates. I hope you have a better idea of what's coming and what you can expect. If this helped you in any way, please share this information on social media. It's all up to you guys on getting this word out. Y'all know I only do YouTube. I have a Facebook, but I don't do all these other platforms, and for good reasons. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for helping the video with the likes and the shares. Y'all really are the ones that make everything happen. God bless every single one of you. James 1 through 19. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is a man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to him that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Amen. And what that means is when you pray for something, believe that you have received it. That way it's not just like a faith that was tossed in the wind. Believe that you will receive it, and you will receive it. You got to believe. That's the whole thing about faith, is believing. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this has truly helped all of you. All power, all glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day, everybody.